It's going to be one of those episodes. Welcome, everybody, back to the Project Gen X podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I'm Big Dave, waiting to see what we're actually going to talk about.
I'm kind of curious to that one myself.
Because Alan was like, we should record an episode. And I was like, great, what are we talking about? And he goes,
no idea. So I had pitched an idea of, what did I call it? Thanksgiving Association or something like that, where it's and where I got that from is that last year we did our Thanksgiving memories episode, and but I think and we probably got a little bit into this, but every holiday there's something that you associate with the holiday, that may or may not actually have something to do.
Okay,
and I know I have several things, and I'm sure you do as well.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it's like this year, when we're recording this, we're a couple of weeks out from Thanksgiving in the year 2020, the year of our Lord 2020, or
you mean the
year of our Dark Lord 2020,
the dumpster fire of 2020.
And this year, there's not going to be a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
I was unaware that they had canceled that.
Yes, they announced that mid-October, I think, something like that. Now, of course, New York's is going back on lockdown as we're recording this, so makes sense. Now, granted, they could do it and televise it and just not have a crowd there.
That would seem very weird.
Yeah, but it's still one of those things that, that has been a staple for.
Oh, I know.
Ever.
My wife gets up and watches that every Thanksgiving.
I haven't since I was probably in my early 20s somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that I used to would get up and watch it, when I was a kid and all through my teens and stuff. But it's just kind of one of those things that it kind of fell off after a while, where I'm
we try to hold off as late as we can on buying eggnog. But we will usually buy some eggnog so that we have it for Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
So that she can get up and make eggnog and
see, I'm
watch the parade guy.
I've never been a big eggnog person. I mean, even obviously, most people think, so talk about eggnog, they associate it, with alcohol, with rum,
no,
whatever.
We don't do that.
But and that's the whole thing is I remember drinking it when I was a kid, completely no alcohol, obviously. I mean, that's we didn't have alcohol in the home to begin with, and it was always just a little too rich for me. Was the problem. I mean, it's
that.
I could drink a little bit of it, but if you give me a whole cup of it, I'm like, no, most of this is going down the drain. I mean, that's
I use this stuff as coffee creamer during the holidays.
Oh yeah, see, I'm not. One of the odd things this year is that Brock's has that turkey dinner candy corn. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but no, thank you.
No, I'm the same way. But what's funny is that most of the places, like I know Walgreens was carrying it.
Yeah,
they had it out during Halloween, and when all the Halloween stuff went away, it went away also.
Yeah,
it's like, wait a second, that doesn't
make any sense. Well, it's because they want to skip Thanksgiving.
I know everybody does.
All the retailers want to skip Thanksgiving.
They want to go right straight to
and it's all about the retail season.
Absolutely.
And Thanksgiving is all about family and friends.
Right.
And
it's more about...
It's more about
There's
family.
No gifts. There's no costumes. There's no,
It's literally
that kind
about
of
hanging
stuff.
out with people.
Right. Now grocers love it because, they do a lot of business during that time period. And, that's one of the things I remember, my mom cooking a turkey overnight, and one of those things, she would set the alarm to get up to baste it, and all that kind of stuff. And it was always one of those things you wake up in the morning, you could smell the turkey in the house, and it smelled so good, And so that's one of those, I always, that my mom, now everybody, as far as dressing, my mom's dressing to me is the best. I mean, now my grandmother, her mom, my mom's mom, she learned to make it from her, and she made just delicious.
I know we talked about this last year, but I'm going to have to make you some of my dressing.
Yeah, I mean, no, I love dressing. That is one of the things that I will always. I mean, just bring me a pan. Just bring me a pan of it. I'll sit there and eat every bit of it.
The thing I haven't mastered yet is the homemade noodle egg gravy.
Yeah,
that's supposed to go with it. And I mean, by homemade, I mean the noodles are handmade.
Right.
and cut by hand and all that. I've got to figure out how to master that.
Right. Well, it's so funny because even with media, you have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Yeah. The Charlie Brown Christmas special.
No, the Thanksgiving special.
Or the Thanksgiving special. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. And that was, of course, we already talked about we're not going to see those on broadcast this year.
No. But my wife found the DVDs.
Okay, well, there you go.
So
I don't feel better now.
I feel better now.
But yeah, and it's one of those things that oh, it sounds like our coffee's ready.
Excellent.
Getting there somewhere. But that's, that reminds me, the association I have with getting up. My dad would always sleep in on Thanksgiving because, he worked a 9 to 5 and he worked, he worked hard manual labor, and, is that thing clogged? Okay, it's better now. And so it was one of those things that, when he would get a chance to sleep, he would sleep in, and I didn't blame him for it because I did the same work he did when I got older, and I understood, And so it was one of those things that, that was on Thanksgiving when he would get up, the first thing he would do is go and make a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
And, you usually sit down and start watching football for a little bit, or before we would head off to family's house or whatever. And, and I don't want to get into the whole Thanksgiving memories thing so much again, because we kind of covered all that last year. But that, again, that's an associated, that is one of those things is the coffee and the first it was the turkey. You smell the turkey and the cooking and all that stuff, and then also Dad making coffee. So you get that coffee smell as well.
This year is going to be a little different because a really good friend of mine decided he wanted to get into and try his hand at smoking meat.
Right.
So for his jokes. I know. But instead of going out and buying a smoker, he decided to build his own.
Okay. How did he build it?
He actually welded the thing. He went and found a old 100-gallon gas tank, cleaned it out, cleaned it up, and welded. I mean, the thing's on a trailer. You can pull it behind a truck. Is how big it is. I think you can get. It's got 4 racks in it, but you can pull a rack out and get something like 30 butts on it.
Right.
He's agreed this year to let me bring over a couple of turkeys. He's going to smoke them for me. So I'll end up sitting up all night with him.
Yeah. I had some friends that used to do, one of them, a friend of the family, and his brother worked for Odom's sausage here down in the Bend here in Nashville.
I really miss Odom's, actually.
And so it was one of those things that they would get, they'd get butts and stuff in there, and we could get them for his cost.
Yeah.
And they used to do, they would do barbecues. And it was usually a Labor Day weekend or Memorial Day weekend. They did do one year around Thanksgiving, which was kind of cool, because it was they did wind up doing a couple, smoking a couple turkeys in there. But basically, what we do, they didn't even have and at one point, I had one set up in my backyard here, where we were, they wound up sitting up, all night. And basically, what they did is they built a pit out of brick old blocks.
Yeah.
And they had a door on one end, and they would have the chimney coming out the other.
Yep.
And then the wood on where they had the get it out in a second, the grill.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where of course when you take the door off and you just put all the wood in there, it get on fire, let it burn, get hot enough and everything, and then and that was so much fun sitting up with that. And it smelled so good. Oh man, it smelled so good.
It's so awesome.
We do ribs, and of course the pork butts and stuff, and then of course you have to, after they comes out, you have to pull them and pull the pork and everything, and that's a little more of the barbecue than it is.
So we were talking about eggnog.
Yeah,
my wife just texted me. Purity eggnog, yay or nay? So as we're recording
there
this,
you go. So there you go.
So
it's eggnog.
The eggnog is evidently starting early this year.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I think that's my fault because I told her we're going to start a little early this year.
So
I don't normally do that, but because we're dealing with Mom decided she's going to sell the house and have an estate sale and all that.
Right.
We're dealing with some of that. I decided,
makes sense.
Let's go ahead and set things up a little early so that way we don't have to deal with it depending on what happens later on. So
that makes sense. I mean, that's especially holidays that you're dealing with family coming and going. We wind up doing we split it. I got family in northern Alabama, and we kind of like 1 year we'll go down there, 1 year we'll come up here, or a lot of times we would meet halfway at like Cracker Barrel or something, because they would have Thanksgiving dinner, and Cracker Barrel Thanksgiving dinner is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And but that was always,
at least it used to be not bad.
I haven't had it in a few years.
It's not Cracker Barrel's not owned by the folks over in Lebanon anymore. No, it's some kind of corporate.
And for those of you who aren't from Nashville, that's the correct pronunciation. It's Lebanon. It's not Lebanon.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, Cracker Barrel started here just east of Nashville.
Yep, in Lebanon, Tennessee. And we could go down a list of, it's not Demon Brewing, it's Demonbreun, it's it's not Lafayette, it's Lafayette.
Yep.
And we are all aware that it's Lafayette, but the whole reason that it's called Lafayette is because of basically making fun of someone. Yeah. It's like, oh no, we're not gonna call him Lafayette, we're gonna call him Lafayette. And it's stuck. And of course, anybody that comes from out of town is like, we also have a town here called Mountain Juliet. Everybody is, it's Mountain Juliet. It's like, no, around here
it's Mount Juliet.
It's Mount Juliet, or it's Mountain Juliet, unless you're actually from Mountain Juliet, in which case it's Mount Juliet. Yeah. So it's
yep. So, that could be a whole episode.
We really, itself. I mean, it's that there's a lot of that type stuff.
He's talking about your dad doing hard labor and sleeping in on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
For a while during college, I was doing some hard labor, but it wasn't really hard labor, but it was one of those things where I had to get up at the crack of dawn on Thanksgiving because I was working at a Christmas tree farm.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the deals that we had with the Christmas tree farm, and it was one of those Christmas tree farms where you actually went and you cut your own. And if you didn't cut it, one of us would go out and we'd cut it for you and drag it back.
Right.
But we didn't have a lot of the upper mountain evergreens, like the Douglases and some of and there was a Christmas tree farm that would set up in Hendersonville, and they'd bring in a 53-foot semi-truck loaded down with Christmas trees that had literally been cut down, put in a truck, and shipped overnight because there would still be snow packed in the branches.
Oh, wow.
And we would have to help the Christmas tree lot unload their trees because our trees for the farm were actually packed in the very front of the truck.
Oh.
And it was
just think.
Well, no, that was part of the agreement that if we got them at a discount if we helped them unload all their trees.
Okay.
So we would have to show up at the lot early Thanksgiving morning, wait for the truck to show up, unload this 53-foot semi-trailer full of Christmas trees, except for the very front of the truck, hop in our cars, drive 20 minutes to the farm, and unload the rest of them. And then I could go home and be there just in time to grab a shower, eat Thanksgiving dinner, and then pass out the rest of the day.
Right. Well, that's always, you eat Thanksgiving lunch or something like that, or dinner, and then you go over and sit in front of the TV to watch football and sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, that I can't, I used to make fun of the adults for doing that, or for the the men in my family for doing that kind of stuff when I was a kid, and then when I got to be an adult, I'm like, no, this is a good place to be.
This is perfect.
This is a really good place to be.
And then you wake up about 6 o'clock, and you go in there and you make turkey sandwiches, or hot browns, and
I just
probably
go right
never
back.
Had a hot brown.
No, I just go right back for the dressing if there's any left, and just like, nope, I'm just taking this. And
but nowadays I'm actually a member of a club. It's a military memorabilia collectors club, and they do a show twice a year. And one of the shows is the day after Thanksgiving. And so I have to be in bed early because I have to get up at the crack of dawn and be down at the show by 7 a.m. And then we're basically on the clock for 48 hours.
Wow.
We actually sleep on the convention floor.
Wow.
Watching the stuff.
Once the doors you don't
closed.
Want that kind of stuff walking off, for one thing. So.
Right. So it's kind of flip-flopped. So, now once Thanksgiving dinner's over, I'm headed to bed pretty quick because I've got to get up early.
Well, I'm glad my retail days are far behind me because I never
you and me both.
Oh, man. The day after Thanksgiving was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse, because now it's opening, midnight. Yeah.
Or 11 o'clock.
I'll tell you something else.
10 o'clock p.m. on Thanksgiving Day.
Of course, it won't happen this year, but in years past, movie theaters would open up.
Yeah.
Around noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something.
Yeah.
And, that was a big thing, was to go to the theater after,
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, you know, and
which was terrible for the people that had to work at the theater.
Yeah, because they had to be there. I know
they didn't get to celebrate Thanksgiving with.
Oh, believe
family.
me, yeah, that's again, you know, that's the whole, like, you know, with in the recent years where these stores like Walmart and different places were opening up on Thanksgiving Day, the same thing. It's like, it's ridiculous, you know. It's you know, it's funny, even before all of this,
name of the almighty dollar.
But you know, even before all of this stuff this year, they had already made some announcements about how they weren't, you know, several places were not going to open on Thanksgiving Day this year.
There was a lot of people, myself included, who was making such a big stink over the fact that the stores were open and people weren't getting to celebrate Thanksgiving with their family. Now, there was a bunch of workers that were complaining about it, going, I don't have any family, you know, I don't mind working on Thanksgiving. Okay, I get it, but you're a small minority, and most people want to be able to celebrate with their family, or at least with their friends on like a Friendsgiving or something.
Yeah, and you know, and we've done that kind of stuff before. You know, I've gone to Thanksgiving dinner with friends' houses. You know, that was always a lot of fun, and you know that. I have worked Thanksgiving Day before, you know, we're doing retail, you know, and that kind of stuff. And I even volunteered to do it one year because it was helping out somebody else, so that she could see her kid. And I'm like, no, that's fine, you know. But it's still one of those things where it's like, no, there are a couple, you know, like Thanksgiving is like, dude, just go and just close. Let people go spend time with their family. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way with Easter. If you're not religious, close your store and let people spend time with their family. Yeah. You know, that's, just look at it that way. It's like, no, this is a good time to, you know, to let your employees have some time with
you actually have a heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're willing to take care of your employees other than, you know, your need to
make more money. I know.
Make more profit. There's going to be profit there.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't worry. You're not.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, unless the government shuts you down, you're not going to run out of profit.
It's kind of ridiculous. But with our association, you know.
Yeah.
One thing, and this is kind of and this goes back to when I was a kid, you know, and I was really, really into comic books. And there was an issue of I don't know if you remember Power Pack or not. It was, really. It was one of those. They've revived it a few times over the years, but it's these four kids, and you know, their last names are Power, you know, and they get you know, powers from this alien, you know, and type stuff. But it's one of those things. They had crossovers with like the X-Men, you know, different stuff like that. And so this one issue, I think it was issue 25, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of those things where like the youngest one invited a bunch of people to the house.
Yeah.
To their apartment, basically, you know, because their mom was in the hospital, dad wasn't going to be there, so she invited all these, you know, like it's like Wolverine and Kitty Pryde and Beta Ray Bill, and you know, and it's like, you know, like I think Leech or something, like one of the Morlocks. You know, it was a bunch of like just random, like what you know, what is all this? And the whole thing, of course, you know, it comes down to, you know, why was this so important? And it was kind of a sweet little way that they ended it, you know, where she like kind of gave this speech about, you know, I invited people that didn't have, you know, families, or, you know, didn't have, you know, whatever, you know, didn't. And it was kind of one of those like, oh, that was nice. I mean, even as a kid, I was like, oh, that's a nice little sentiment that the writer put on this, you know. And and again, you know, it's one of those things because they're set in New York, so there was some Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, you know, bleed over here and there and that kind of stuff. But it was honestly, like, oh, that was kind of cool, you know.
If you know somebody that doesn't have somewhere to go for Thanksgiving, invite them for Thanksgiving. Hey, it's one more plate.
Every year, my mom says, hey, do you have any friends that don't have family that live around here or whatever? You know, they're always, you know, it's like your friends are always welcome over here, you know. And, you know, and several people have. I know, you know, Brody ate with us a couple of times, you know, back in the day. And, you know, I had different, just misfit friends, you know, here and there. Like, yeah, come on, just come over to the house.
We're all misfits.
Yeah, you know, and that's how I've always kind of, you know, well, I have one name for all you guys that I'm not going to say because this is a family show. We're
all residents of the island of misfit toys. We really are.
But I have many times referred to my group of friends as, you know, the freak show.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of one of those things, and it's not derogatory. It's like, no, look, we all have something that we're a little outside of the norm just a little bit, and that's fine. That people talk about, you finding your tribe or your family, your chosen family. It's like, no, I've been extremely lucky over the years to have found, a lot of you guys of like, no, we probably in a different life wouldn't have been friends, but we're all misfits enough to where we have that in common, And
misfits tend to find their own kind.
I know.
And they respect each other's viewpoints a little bit because we're all a little broken.
Right. And it's also one of those things that for the most part, even through this year and the election, that kind of stuff, we've all kind of, even when we disagreed, we've been okay with each other. It's like, all right, fine.
For the most part.
For the most part, there's a few people here and there that, I did have to go on a 30-day snooze fest like a couple days after the election, and it wasn't directed towards any one side of the aisle. It was towards everybody. Yeah. Because I was tired of hearing it. I mean, it's like, look, dude, the election's, I understand that it hadn't been called at that point, but I was like, it's over. I'm tired of that. I've been hearing about this crap for a year and a half now. I'm ready for this. It's over, But the thing is that one side wants to gloat and one side wants to bellyache, and they start calling each other names.
Both sides are kind of doing the same thing.
Exactly, and it's like, there's
a lot of finger pointing,
exactly,
and name calling,
and I'm just like, no, okay, you're all going on 30-day snooze, all of you.
I saw,
and
a friend of mine posted my friend Lena posted on Facebook sentiment.
Favorite one. Go ahead.
I was like, that was perfect. That was exactly what needed to be brought up right now. I think it was Lena. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. And it's from the Green Mile, and it's John Coffey, and it's
I'm tired, boss.
I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of people being ugly to each other. I'm tired of all the pain I feel and hear in the world each day, and there's way too much of it.
Yep, I agree.
And I was like, that is the perfect sentiment for what's going on in the country right now.
I agree. Now,
a lot of people need to grow up and learn how to be civil to each other again.
Well, it's I posted a meme of the other day, and I've gotten pretty positive on for the most part. On one side you have the famous picture of the woman with the hat screaming, to the heavens, and it says the left this morning. On the other side, you got a guy wearing a MAGA hat, and he's kind of pointing into the camera, yelling, and it says the right this morning. And then at the bottom of it, it's got a guy sitting in a lounge chair on the beach, and it says, "Me knowing neither party will do anything to actually fix our problems, so we might as well find a comfortable place to watch the world burn."
Yeah, I think I saw that one too.
That one, and then I had another one. I don't remember what happened to it. That again, my own personal. It said, "I must be going senile because I don't remember asking you for your opinion." Yeah. And that's really and truly where I am these days. Where I'm like, look, I get it. We all have an opinion on everything.
Yeah.
But I have, as I've gotten older, and I guess I've mellowed a little bit, not much.
Okay.
But I've mellowed a little bit. I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm glad you have an opinion. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
That's, if you want to tell me your opinion, fine. I'll sit and listen to it for a little bit until you start going crazy. And then it's like, okay, enough. This is where we end.
Look, we're not, nobody.
And that's even people I agree with.
Yeah.
So,
nobody's going to know anything about what actually happened on either side
until
years. At least November 13th, when they have to certify it or call it
December. You said November.
Okay, December 13th. Sorry.
It all, like I said.
Every year has 12 months in it except for 2020, which it has 374 years in it.
Yeah, something like that. Like I said in a previous episode,
look,
this is.
Thanksgiving is coming.
Right. Let's just go to Thanksgiving.
Can you just shut up about politics and actually treat people like people and enjoy the holiday? Christmas is coming. And the way y'all have been acting,
everybody's getting cold.
You're getting a dictionary and coal in your stocking this year.
Well, I'll tell you, it's one of those things that we tend here at the Project Gen X podcast tend to try to stay away from politics because, honestly, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of them.
I listen to about 4 or 5.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of them.
I have trouble keeping up with the 4 or 5 that I listen to.
And the thing is that over the last few months, I've really stopped listening to some that I've listened to for years because their politics kept inching more and more into
Yeah.
the episodes. I'm like, look, dude, I'm listening to your movie podcast because I want to hear about movies. I don't want to hear about politics, you know. And the more and more that kind of stuff happened, I'm like, you know what, I'm done. And as a matter of fact, I stopped supporting a couple of patrons. Yeah, I was a patron for a few people because I'm like, look, I'm not paying you to hear about stuff I don't want to hear about. And it has nothing to do with whether or not I agree with you. It's just the fact of I'm not giving you money to hear more of what I'm already hearing for free.
We try to stay away from it.
We try to
absolutely stay away from it. But
if you listen, you can probably figure out our politics, but we're not wearing them on our on our sleeves like so many people are these days, a badge of honor of this is who we are. You know, it's like, no.
We try to keep it to a minimum. But with the way things have been this year, it has permeated every raw fiber of everything that's going on. And I admit, we have slipped, and we need to do better.
A couple of times. We need to do better. And it's one of those things that Dave and I guess we're discussing it on mic now. Yeah. It's something that I wanted to, talk to Dave about, hey, why don't we make a turn, with some other podcasts that kind of mimic a little bit some of the ones that we listen to that are purely entertainment, with no political agenda to them whatsoever. It's literally look, here it is. Yeah. We're not going to impose our opinions on politics on you.
We've tried to do that from the get-go on this one.
We've tried.
But like I said, we've slipped.
From time to time, I made jokes about stuff, that.
But honestly, we make fun of both sides because both sides are so.
I'll say it here for everybody now. I am a moderate. I have been for a good chunk of my adult life. I've gone from being a conservative to being a liberal to somewhere in the middle, and it's like, hey, I get to stand here in the middle and tell both of you how big idiots you are, and it's.
I'm a policy guy. I look at policy and see, what have you done? What did you say you were going to do? What have you actually do?
Right.
And what is you say you're going to do on your platform?
Right.
Did you follow your platform?
Right.
That's what I look at, and there are issues on both sides of the aisle that I support or disagree with. Well, does that mean I'm going to go and burn somebody's house down like I've seen the news here recently?
Or dox somebody or something. I mean, it's like, look, dude.
Be an adult,
exactly.
Please.
And that's the thing. No one is being an adult, okay? All right, look, that was something I'm sure you probably saw. A couple of months ago, Chris Rock did an interview. For I think it was the Times, I think, or something like that.
I don't remember.
And he talked about how the problems that we're having right now go back to the Democrats that are in office right now. And he said, and the whole reason why is because you get Donald. Again, this is Chris Rock talking, and I tend to agree with him.
Okay,
to a certain degree.
This is what Chris Rock
said. You got Donald Trump in office, and with Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, it's one of those things that somebody has to be the adult in the room, and rather than be the adult in the room, they decided to go after impeachment. And they screwed everything up for everybody because they couldn't be the adult in the room, and I'm like, I can see a little bit of all of this here, it's
I can't even put it all completely on the Democrats.
I wouldn't put it all on them, no, but believe me, there's enough for both sides.
Both sides have acted like absolute children.
So what's one of the things you're not supposed to talk about at Thanksgiving this year?
Politics. So welcome to our Thanksgiving. Both sides have been absolute children and have done nothing more than done a candy grab for themselves to fill their own pockets with the sweets and left a lot of folks out in the cold.
I know.
So
and it's.
I'm sorry. I don't adhere to a party.
I think
same here.
I am
ridiculous.
Completely independent. So
I look at policy and I look at what the Constitution says.
Right. And I don't even. I have some libertarian leanings, but I don't. The libertarians have not given me a platform that I can get behind.
The party of libertarian all they've put forth have been crackpots and nutcases so far.
I know.
It's time for a legitimate third party of adults.
I agree.
And nobody wants to be the adult.
Yeah. I guess you heard it. Project Gen X is forming their own political party. We're gonna be the Gen X party. And
Republicans are elephants. Democrats are donkeys. I think we should be the porcupine.
Isn't that what the?
Is that the libertarian?
I think it's a libertarian.
We need to come up with something.
Yeah, I think they are the porcupine, if I'm not mistaken.
How about chimpanzee? We can.
We just sit around and throw shit at everybody.
how's that one?
And that actually has a pretty good idea. Actually.
We can just throw poo at everybody,
and that will be like our little, like our little shadow thing. We'll have like a reared back with a big pile of poo in its hand, get ready to throw it.
How about that? Yeah,
we need to get some
stickers made,
some stickers and T-shirts made.
All right, we need a graphic artist to render us some ideas.
Right,
we can't pay you, but we'll
pay you in merch, and
we'll call your name on the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
That?
So,
but we got off on a tangent.
It is what it is. Because again, we didn't have any. We legitimately sat down and said, "Hey, we're going to just hit record and see what happens." Go. It's how we started this podcast. Yeah, that is one of those things. That's the way we started this podcast.
The mysterious missing.
I still have no idea where that
000
file is.
episode.
It's out there somewhere. We legitimately sat down and just hit record and talked for an hour.
Yeah,
and was pretty coherent with it for the most part. I mean, we jumped topics quite a bit, but it never got off the rails. We definitely weren't Alex Jones.
So far, we've talked about our love for Thanksgiving and dressing. Mm-hmm. We've talked about smoking turkeys.
Right.
We have determined that the two-party system is broken, and we need a third party for the Gen Xers. That with our mascot being a chimpanzee throwing poo.
Yeah,
that's where we're at so far.
I think that's a pretty. I would say that's a win.
What are you looking forward to Christmas this year?
Just my kid. That's the thing. With as my son has a birthday in December. And it's one of those things that we always make sure that there is a separation between his birthday and Christmas. It's pretty close, but not like right on top of each other, but pretty close, right? And that's the whole thing. Yeah. Like I have a January birthday, and so that that can again kind of be that. Oh well, this.
This
you're
is
really
for your
close.
Christmas and birthday.
Yeah, and no, I never had that situation. But it was still one of those things. My parents very much made sure. I was an only child. My son has a sister.
Yeah,
but that she lives with between her dad and her mom. So I don't see her as much as I used to
or like to.
Well, yeah, we saw her today because we moved a piano over to the house. But it's
thanks for that.
No problem.
I'm going to need some Advil here.
Well, it still wasn't as bad as it could have been.
No,
that's,
I agree.
Thank God we had the moving those that
dolly.
It wasn't a dolly. It's a furniture moving. Like
and
the
fact that I happen to be fairly good at Tetris.
Yeah. So. Hey, let me tell you, Tetris. We were skipping all over the place, but Tetris is one of the greatest games ever for problem solving.
Yes,
I mean, and I have said that there have been many times at jobs. I've worked at in warehouses or doing doing shipping or doing stock in stores or something like that, and I was always so good at getting the overstock into a smaller space, very concise and everything. And I have many times had bosses say, "Hey, how'd you get so good at this?" It's like, I played Tetris for years and years. This is just a giant game of Tetris is all it is. That's all this is.
And it's the same with packing clothes, packing those suitcases into a car with 3 other people. Mm-hmm. We've got wife has got it's a smaller SUV.
Yeah.
It's got room for 4 people and a small luggage area.
Right.
We packed me and her parents into that Edge with all of the luggage for all 4 of us into that car. I did it.
Right.
Got it all in there. Didn't have to do a rooftop carrier. And we were gone for 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So I was pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
Packing stuff.
That is a but yeah, like I was saying, with my son, that's Christmas is all about him these days. It's one of those things that I've always had a very contentious relationship with Christmas and my birthday and several holidays. Not all holidays, but just several of them. For whatever reason, and even in my adult years, I haven't quite been able to figure out what it is. But I tell you, it was one of those things after having kids. that all of a sudden it's like, no, this came back around. Now this is what it's all. I don't care if I never get anything whatsoever, But it's one of those things I always want to make sure that he, his birthday and Christmas and that kind of stuff is and he's he's a sweet kid on top of it all. So it's and he likes a lot of the same stuff I do. So it makes it real easy to shop. It's hey, he's really into Mario right now. So hey, we can just go get Mario stuff, and I get to play the games too. Nice. Nice. That's one of the bad things about having a son who's really into video games now is I don't get to play as much as I would like to because he's always playing. It's like when he's with his mom, a lot of times I'm like, hey, I'm tired.
Well, me and Miss Nate weren't able to have kids, and her sister, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, had a daughter, so it's all about the niece. Oh yeah. And Miss Nate has already been up to where they live at, and has gotten to go up and visit, and and I haven't seen the niece. I guess it's been a year or better at this point, and they're actually coming down for Christmas this year.
Nice.
So I'll get to hang out and mess with her quite a bit.
I'm looking forward. Before I had kids, I mean, my cousin has kids, and she's got 3 of them, so they were kind of my, I could spoil you guys, and load you up with candy and caffeine and send you home, and type stuff. And believe me,
shake them.
Oh no,
give them back to the
believe me. After my son was born, my cousin Jessica, she was like, "Oh, payback's coming."
Yep. Well, for Christmas last year, I actually went out and did. I'm terrible at shopping. I never know what to get somebody. I was walking through Walmart and just walked through the toys for no reason.
Right.
And there was a VTech.
Oh, yeah.
Had a little drum kit.
Yep.
And I gave it to her for Christmas. And she opened it up. And I turned it on, and she hit the first one, and her eyes lit up.
Oh, yeah.
She picked up the toy and went over into the next room and behind a wall to where nobody could see her. And it sat there and beat on those things for like a half an hour. I was like, I win.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
The other thing I gave her, my wife found a set of Kiss Little People.
Oh yeah. I've seen that the little 3 3/4. Yeah.
And I gave her a set of those.
The reaction figures is what they're called. Yeah.
And she loved those too.
That's
so
cool.
I'm
Kiss. Really?
Kiss. Yes. Okay.
They got funny looking faces. I get it. It's
I'm trying to raise my niece right. With drums and rock and roll and
Kiss. I mean, come on.
Okay. So what? They're boomer juggalos, but who cares?
Oh wow. That's wow.
But,
yeah.
But let's admit it, they made some fun rock and roll. They put on a good show.
Hey, look, Detroit,
they can't help but be the grandparents of the Juggalos.
Detroit Rock City is a great rock song. Yes. I don't care what anybody says. It is
Destroyer is a good album.
For the most part, it is. It's actually pretty good. Love Gun is actually not a bad album either. I mean, it's those first few Kiss albums. Are actually pretty okay, and that's all I'm going to say is they're pretty okay because they are what they are.
They're fun, and they're fun to turn up loud.
Yeah. I love it loud. Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering if you'd catch up. So.
Yeah, I got it. Believe me, it's I don't know. I never really had much of a Kiss phase. I had a little bit of I think I had double platinum or double. Was it double platinum? It was their greatest hits or whatever. That. And I'll be honest, it's kind of one of those. I don't know. They just never did it for me. I liked the makeup more than I actually liked them.
It was more about the show than it was the music.
And what's happening now with them when they were on tour, before everything shut down, there was a lot of speculation. And there was no proof of it, but there was a lot of like hardcore fans who had gone to their shows and been like, they're not playing any of this music. Like it's all like it's basically they're pumping the CD through the.
So they're pulling a Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, and they're basically just up there performing, and it's like that's kind of BS, And
you pay that kind of money, you expect to see.
Exactly. I can sit at home and listen to CDs for I've already bought them. I didn't got to pay. And believe me, concert tickets are freaking expensive.
It's the reason I don't go to shows anymore. I pay money for the shows if it's somebody that I really, 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 really want to see. But if they're going to do that, My stereo system at home is way better, and I can listen to it in higher resolution than what they're going to do in a concert hall.
And your ears aren't going to ring for 3 days afterwards.
I'm slowly upgrading all of my stuff with clips.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know you said you bought some new speakers. So
I started following them on Facebook, and occasionally they'll do a hot sale. Like right now, they're doing a 50% off on some limited supply speakers and stuff. That I almost bought a new subwoofer, but I was like, I can use that couple $100 somewhere else.
Well, we're in the middle of this, topic jumping that we are.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, it's like, we like every couple of months we got to do one of these episodes just as a. Okay, we did the topics. We did, the single topics or whatever. Of just like, okay, what's going on in Alan and Dave's life right now? what do we, just turn it on and go, Yeah.
And honestly, if the movie theaters keep going the way they're going, I am going to drop some serious coin into my home theater.
Yep.
And I'm just going to watch stuff at home.
I bought those JBL speakers.
Yeah.
And they're little. I mean, they're like. They're not big. I mean, they're like, 9, 10 inch or something.
They're bookshelf speakers.
Yeah, something. Yeah. And the thing is, I've got...
Actually, they're studio monitor speakers.
Yeah, they are. And I bought them at a pawn shop, a couple of years ago. And I tell you, they sound great. I mean, even just...
Yeah.
I don't even have a subwoofer for them. Well, I have one, but I can't get it to work. I think it might be busted. I'm going to have to look at it and see.
I can take a look at that for you.
But it's one of those things where, like, even without the subwoofer, just with those bookshelf... Dude, I'm like, I can sit and watch a movie and it's like, wow, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And nothing fancy, and so.
But I've got a set of Klipsch bookshelf speakers and I've got a center channel. And at some point I'll add a decent subwoofer from Klipsch. And then they make some actual like surround speakers. Like they're flat on the back, but they look like a triangle and they've got speakers on both sides of that triangle, so it spreads the sound out in the back for the surround stuff. And I may get a couple of those to put in the back of the room. It'd be, sound pretty good.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I'm really looking forward to over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna when my new T-shirt comes in.
Oh no! Oh no!
Dave's already seen it because it's the same T-shirt. I'm ordering one of the T-shirts that Otis wore in the 3 from Hell, the last Rob Zombie, like in the Firefly trilogy.
Firefly family.
And if you haven't seen it, we should probably post a picture of it. It's very not safe for work. Basically, what it says, it's got a crucifix on the front of it, and across the top it says Jesus loves you, but I don't, and underneath it says go F yourself.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
If we're hanging out and we're going out in public,
don't wear it.
Please do me a favor, don't wear it. The last thing I need to do is have to sit there and try to defend you when you get your butt
ain't worried
kicked.
about it. So it's I'm kind of getting to that age now where it's like I don't care anymore. Like any F's that I gave, like I gave very few to begin with, but I've even lost most of those. And it's one of those things too where it's like I'm getting to that age where it's like, do you really want to fight the old guy? Because if you win, you beat up an old guy, and if you lose, you got beat up by an old guy. Well, there's no winning here,
A friend of mine made the comment. He's like, you really don't ever want to mess with the old guy because he's been domesticated. Mm-hmm. He's working a job that
probably hates.
He's not probably very fond of, and he's sitting out, eating or drinking somewhere, and you start something with him. You've now given him the excuse to actually unleash the things that he's put in a cage for a while. And he's probably going to look forward to handing you your butt.
It's also, and again, I am no great badass or anything. I mean, I'll tell you that right off the bat. But it's also one of those things that, like, when you're young and you're full of testosterone and you're just, and it's a lot of just raw aggression.
Yeah.
When you're our age, you learn that, like, okay, the kid's going to come at me with everything he's got up front because that's what you do when you're that age. And so it's more of a, okay, I can sidestep this and use his momentum against him.
You
and
fight smarter.
Yeah, exactly.
You actually pay attention to what's going on. You use economy of movement.
Exactly. You know, it's smarter, not harder. You know, it's I say that about so many things in my life.
Unfortunately, you're a little short on the smart sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm just gonna call you on it.
I'll admit it. Sometimes I still, at my age, you know, with staring 50 in the face pretty hard, you know, it's still on the horizon. It's not quite. You're staring it a little harder than I am, but it's still one of those things where I find myself like I will stop myself sometime. I'm like, yeah, you're acting like you're 22 again. Remember how stupid you were then? Yeah. So it's.
I'm looking at 50 and starting to hear the music from The Good, Bad, the Ugly.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
You remember the movie Secondhand Lions?
Mm-hmm.
I have a real bad feeling I'm going to end up
like
identifying really
sitting
well.
on the front porch with a shotgun waiting for the people to come up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's I have not seen that movie. I've seen that clip.
You've not seen Secondhand Lions?
I haven't. I know what it's about.
It's a great movie.
It's what, Michael Caine and who's the other?
I can't think of his name. Great actor. He was in
Morgan Freeman.
He was in Gone in 60 Seconds. So he's been in a bunch of cowboy movies. I'm trying to get my Magic Witch box open. I'm trying to get DuckDuckGo to open up. DuckDuckGo is not opening up for me.
Secondhand Lions. Here we go. It is Michael Caine and Robert Duvall.
There you go.
There you go. Yep.
Robert Duvall.
What was I thinking? Oh, I was thinking of what was it? The Bucket List. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I have seen.
You need to see Secondhand Lions. Folks, if you haven't seen Secondhand Lions, this is actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I guess. I don't know. I guess again, I say we're all over the place here. Thinking about getting ready to be half a century old in a few years. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't feel like I'm that old.
I don't either.
I mean, yeah, when I get up in the morning, a lot of times my body reminds me how old I am.
I recant. My knees remind me every morning when I crawl out of bed.
I have issues with my lower back a lot of times when I get up in the mornings. I mean, it's just like
this morning.
Yeah,
we've already talked about this over lunch. This morning, I got out of bed feeling like somebody had beat me from about the middle of my back down to my ankles with a stick.
And yours might be a little bit the same as mine. I have problems with my lower back not because I'm almost 50. I have problems with my lower back because for about 40 years I abused the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And now it's catching up where it's like, hey, idiot.
Yeah.
You should have taken better care of yourself when you were young.
Once you get over 40, investing in a good chiropractor and a massage therapist is worth the money.
A heating pad. A good heating pad is
this is when I knew I was getting old.
Oh yeah.
The wife and I were down to one car at one point, and she was going to have to go out of town. So I had to go rent a car so I could get around for a week or so. And I went to one of the green and black rent-a-car place, and what they had was a Ford Fusion, but it was a fully loaded Ford Fusion, leather, and it had heated seats.
Heated seats, yep.
Heated seats, and it was in the winter.
Heated seats are nice in the wintertime.
It had a remote start, so I could hit remote start and leave the heated seats on, and it would be all warm and toasty by the time I got to the car with my coffee. And what I realized is that after working a full hard day, I wanted those heated seats turned on because it was nothing about trying to keep me warm. It was completely about getting my lower back to unknot.
Also, the lumbar support is another one. As I've gotten older, I'm like, no, that is one. Like I never thought about that when I was younger. And then the first and when I got older and started really having some problems, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Oh, that is so nice. Especially I've said many times on here, I have. Until earlier this year, driven for a ride share. Yeah. And so when you're sitting for hours and hours and hours, that lumbar support is very, very crucial to being able to get up and walk after you get out of the car. So
I knew I was old when I realized I wanted heated seats for the lower back treatment.
Well, Not for that, just for the heated seats in general. And I caught a lot of crap for this, and I'm like, part of me still, I wish I had this car back, but I had a Cadillac CTS for a little while.
That's a great car.
And that's the whole thing is like, I didn't buy a Cadillac. I bought a Cadillac CTS. It's a sporty, and it's not. I love those CTS, and I would own another one in a heartbeat.
Those things are great cars.
But that was the first vehicle I owned that had the heated seats, and my stepdaughter. I was taking her to school one day, and she was, because I had the leather seat, she's like, it's cold. I'm like, well, here, just turn this on. And she was like, this is amazing. She was like 7 or 8 years old at the time, and she was like, oh no, this is great. I like this. And that was the first thing when she would get in the car, or she would ask me, he's like, did you already turn the seat on for whenever I get in the car?
Well, now they make air conditioned seats.
I know. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, during the summertime, that could be nice.
Summer in the South, have an air conditioned seat. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, believe me.
And I'm not gonna lie, I like the Cadillacs. I think they're great cars. The difference is
I have a love-hate relationship with them. Well, I like the CTSs, and now they've got, what is it, the CTA or the CT? What is it? There's another. Army that's, I can't remember what it's called now. But there's another one that they've come out with in the ensuing years that's still kind of sporty. But it's I think it's actually a little sportier than the CTS. But the biggest thing with it is that they don't get great gas mileage, and
it's a Cadillac.
It's got that V8. It's got that V8 in it. Or actually, it's a V6 that's in the standard one. You can get a V8, but it's a.
I like them, but where I live at, I need a 4-wheel drive truck, and I'm not gonna lie, I want a 4-door 4-wheel drive truck.
Right.
And I will put a little bit of a lift on it because I need to get a little bit meatier tire to get out of my neighborhood when it snows.
Yeah. I don't have that problem here so much. I mean, now I do enjoy when we are all over the place.
No, I'm not talking about making a full redneck truck.
No.
I'm talking about making
I do enjoy, because the street that I live on has got a slope to it.
Yeah.
Like and more of an incline than what you think a lot of times. And I have many times enjoyed sitting in my living room watching out the windows whenever the street's iced over and people come down through there and not realizing how slick it is and how much of a slope that they're on, and they go sliding, and it's like, well, that's what happens for being an idiot. So
it's not that your street has an incline to it and you can't really tell it. It's you have a fairly good crown to your road. So if you start sliding, you're going into the ditch.
Yeah, and you were going into a ditch because there are no sidewalks, no curves, no nothing.
Yeah,
so
and they're anywhere from 3 to 6 foot deep.
Yep. Man, I just had somebody running on my last week that I was telling Dave about. It's like, I don't know how they wound up nose first in my ditch, like 6 feet beyond where my driveway is.
More like 8 foot.
And it was like, what were you doing?
It's like they were trying to drive into your front yard.
I know, and it's one of those things where it's a 2-lane street, and to get like that, they had to really do some like maneuvering to wind up in that situation.
It's like they were trying to turn around in the middle of the street. They may have,
which was dumb, because all they had to do was just pull in my driveway and back out and go. So
yeah,
you got to wonder about people sometimes, man. It's
what would I say? Be an adult. Be nice to people. But then again, here's your sign.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I know we're kind of getting close to the hour mark here. One thing that, and I think I've talked about it on here. My grandmother passed last year, and like right after the holidays, and last Thanksgiving, we all went to see her. She was living in assisted living. We all piled in and that kind of stuff, and that was the last good day that she had. Was Thanksgiving last year. That's kind of one of those, from going forward, that's going to be the memory, because it literally is one of those things that, we left there that Thursday and she started to decline the next day, and it was just, it took her till after Christmas to finally let go. But it was one of those things, it was like, that was the last like really good day that we had. That's a good day. It is, and that was, and I've got some great pictures of her and my son,
Yeah.
And so, that's one of those now that, Thanksgiving is, from going on now, is forever going to be associated with that, which, again, it's a good thing. It's a real good thing to have,
Honestly, it's been a while. It has taken me a while to get back to where I enjoy Thanksgiving, because my mom's mom passed away not long.
I remember.
We were living in Illinois at the time.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of it.
You're thinking of a different one.
Yeah, I remember when your grandmother passed in the late 90s.
That was my dad's mom.
That was your dad's
and
mom.
And that wasn't, I don't think that was around the holidays.
No,
but Mom's mom, we went down to Kentucky from Illinois, and she'd been in the hospital. And we did Thanksgiving. We stayed at her house. We, did Thanksgiving at her house. And we would go to the hospital to see her. And Mom stayed, and Dad packed me and the girls up in the car and went back to Illinois. And we got ready, went to school the next day. And by lunchtime, he had already come and signed us out, packed up the car, and we were right back to Kentucky.
Right.
And we were at a funeral 3 or 4 days later.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving for a very long time for me was very hard.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to where I really enjoy it again. And part of that is having married my wife, and once a year.
I would hope you would have married your wife instead of someone else's, but
you know what I mean. Part of that is because I married my wife, and because of that, I get to spend 1 year with my family, and I spend 1 year with her family.
Right.
And over the years, it's gotten to where it's their extended family will do a big Thanksgiving. So it's not just like 1 or 2 families. It's like 6, 7 families.
Oh, yeah.
Last year we went out to one of her cousin's farms, and he's got a big heated barn.
Oh, nice.
And they had tables set up in the barn, and he's got a kitchen there in the barn. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was, I showed you the picture earlier. My cousin sent me this morning of her middle kid, Allison. And Allison is, how old is she now?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Somebody's in trouble.
Well, no, it's one of those things that like,
she's old enough, she's playing guitar.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. The picture was her with her uncle, like her dad's brother, and she's learning to play guitar, and she was like, yeah, and
good for you, because girls rock.
I know, and I'm like, that's awesome, so it's going to be fun.
Speaking of girls rock, if you haven't listened to our episode about girls rock, you should go back and listen to that.
Now, the funny thing is that
plug.
She doesn't listen to any of that type of music because they're a very religious family and they don't listen to rock and roll and that kind of stuff.
That means she'll be listening to it in college.
Exactly, and so it's like that's where I come in. It's like, hey, let me introduce you to some stuff you're gonna like. You ever heard of Courtney Love?
No, you start easy. You start easy.
Go-Go's.
And go. Here's the Go-Go's.
Right, and. Yeah.
Oh, better. You can go, here's somebody local. This is an all-girl band. It's called the Dead Dads.
There you go.
You should listen to this
Fleming
local
and John.
group. Fleming and John.
That would be a good one. Yeah, so, but yeah, so that's kind of something now. I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to going down there this year to, let's see where she is, and that kind of stuff and show her some stuff,
Take your guitar with you.
Yeah, I thought about that too. So that means I won't have to get a case because I don't have a hard shell for my acoustic that I have now.
No, I was thinking about the other one.
That means I have to take all my stuff though. I'm not going to. I don't have a case for that one either. For my my Dot.
What's wrong with you?
Well, I bought it. It didn't have one, and because it's such an odd, it doesn't fit a standard case.
No, you're going to have to get a Gibson
I know,
case.
And I'm just like, that's going to be expensive. And I haven't taken it anywhere yet. It's only been in the house.
We really need to put your stuff in a road case anyway.
Yeah, I know. So
we just pull the front and back off of it and go.
Yeah, but it and believe me, I don't want to haul all that stuff to Alabama for a day. Basically, it's.
Come on, what's the matter? You don't miss gigging?
Not like that. No. Again, I'm old. Yes. Don't have any roadies, so it's. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing them. And
now you know how I, as a drummer, feel.
Well, no, I don't. Because that's a whole different. Every time is you need 3 roadies to.
Yeah, I usually do it all myself.
Yeah, so that's a good thing you're Big Dave. Plenty of.
Big Dave has nothing to do with muscle. It's all fat. It's all fat.
Yeah, well. So anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with us for an hour of us just kind of rambling and starting one place and winding somewhere completely different. It's what we're really good at. And
you got to kind of sit in on what it's like to go to dinner with us.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, and this was actually pretty controlled. If you sit down with us for a couple hours at dinner, it's all over the place. So.
That's what we ought to do after the first of the year is do an event where we just
gotta get meet up.
Do a meetup.
I'm not opposed to that. The thing is I think that we know most of the people that that listen to this, which is fine. I mean, okay. I know, but I'm really hoping that after the first of the year, things start opening back up again.
Yeah,
that we can start doing some.
I'd like to get out and do some interviews,
mobile promotion, and different things. Of like, hey, we're gonna be at this gathering or this con or this whatever it is. It's where we can go and meet people and hand out stickers or flyers or whatever, because we're working on getting some stickers and that kind of stuff. We're working on
some merch.
Yeah, and it'll be
basic
fun.
Merch,
and we can figure it out from there. So
yeah.
So anyways, I am Alan Smith.
I am Big Dave.
And we hope you have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. Again,
friends.
Or friends,
whether
because it is one of
Friendsgiving.
those things that you never know what lies ahead.
And
2020's taught us you never know what lies ahead. So
and let's hope that 2020 doesn't look at 2021 and have 2021 say, "Here, hold my beer."
Exactly. So
and if you know somebody who may not have somebody to go to,
invite them to your place, man.
Invite them to your place.
Yeah, it's always, you never know. It's always fun.
And be civil and act like an adult at the dinner table. Or next year you'll be ending up at the card table with the kids.
Well, but that's usually where I like to sit. So, again, that's the quote unquote adults sit at the big table and they argue politics and everything, and I sit over at the kids table and every once in a while throw an insult over their way, or and then I sit over at the kids table and throw poo at them, and then it's.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
We'll see you next time.